good morning to you. This is Newsline, live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo and broadcasting on TV1. And joining me this morning on the set is the Siberian Railway travelling, scarf-wearing legal expert who's been kind enough to come on the show at this time of the morning, the one and only legal expert himself, Gomin Dayasirion. Very good morning to you.
Thank you, Zakat. I think all you need is a waistcoat with braces on.
Thank you. Now then, you've travelled on the Trans-Siberian Railway. God knows why you wanted to do that. But, nevertheless, out in Sri Lanka, against all odds, against perhaps every conceivable odd, against all odds, after several electoral defeats, Ranil Wickremesinghe finds himself as the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka for the fourth time, a record in itself, against all odds. We had the former president, who appeared to be a king in the making, against all odds, and that's the operative word, he was voted out of office. By against all odds, the minority communities turned out over 80% of them in the former conflict areas. One of the highest turnouts ever recorded in the history of Sri Lanka's polls. And although there was a collection of around 47 different organizations that came together in this thrust to achieve change, against all odds, apparently, it was done. But, Mr. Dayasirion, what on earth is happening now?
Well, I think it's the people that matters. It's the people that vote. And people have various tendencies. For example, I would say most people vote, they have an established family vote, a family-based vote, in the sense it's bulk SLFP or bulk UNP or bulk TULF or TNA. So there is this bulk vote, which under any circumstance a party is able to gather. Then you have a different vote, the floating vote. Now that is the key vote. And there are teams. For example, the team earlier was against terrorism. This time the team was good governance. So at this stage, nearly 3 years or 4 years more for elections, nearly 3.5 years more for elections, I don't think any team is developing. There is no particular direction the country is going.
Yes, it appears to me that it is a ship that is comfortably and safely sailing, but it's not sailing in any particular direction.
That is because last government, which was trash, this government is tripe, so that we are not moving ahead at all, and the people are really totally dissatisfied with the state of affairs because they don't see any kind of progress. And the reason behind it is the fact that there is no real government in office. It's a very weak government, and that is going to be the order of the day if this continues. There will be a series of coalition governments, and maybe the 19th Amendment in itself is being defeated because the very fact that no government can have a general election unless 2/3 of the parliamentarians vote, and that will never happen because no parliamentarian would want to shorten his lifespan, political lifespan, and that means a government, even though defeated, will have to within parliament form another government for 4 years and 6 months.
It's a very odd kind of democracy.
It's a very odd kind of democracy, and I think the next constitution amendment, if it is proposed, and that is where I think the president is probably ahead of the prime minister. He is more in line with the thinking. That is because SLFP is more at ground level than the UNP, which is sailing up in the clouds. I think the next constitution amendment may well be the thing that might prop the opposition up. And for that, don't blame the UNP. blame the LSSP. That amendment is coming via the LSSP, and that is one of the most dangerous provisions this country will ever have to face. And people will definitely in the South rise against it.
Which one is this now?
I'm thinking of the next Constitution amendment, which speaks of a merge of the North and East.
Oh.
The question of federal constitutions, and also a question of devolution of police power and land powers to the central government. Now that is an amendment that certainly I don't think the UNP themselves would be happy to bring that, because the people in the South...
So who is bringing it?
It's bringing, the government is proposing to bring it, as Ranil Wickremesinghe has been speaking about it, and it is being mooted by persons close to the LSSP, not the UNP.
When you say, Ranil Wickremesinghe is speaking, sometimes he seems to be speaking out of turn, if I may say so.
Especially, it's a very, he comes from a family very closely associated with the media. It's surprising to see him now criticizing the media when they stricture his government. I mean, you must know that criticism is something that you can use to improve yourself, enhance your position, get your position clear.
But he's talking about that he will not burn places down, stone places, or bomb places, but he will retaliate with words. Did I get that right? The thing is, I don't think anyone who's in his right sense of mind or senses is going to say, I'm going to get you, and I'm going to hit you with the AK-47. So, what is this business when this great promoter of Westminster-style politics goes to Parliament and utilizes he commits a sanctimonious crime, actually, by wasting Parliament time, which is costing us, I think, 4.5 million a day each time it sits, and talks something about, we're not going to burn them down. Really, this is from a Prime Minister of a democracy.
Yes, we must understand that media has done an excellent job during the last government and this government. Through difficult times, they've been criticizing the governments in a way that government will get hurt. But no other group has done as much as the media. So I think it's very improper for him to blame the media, because if you look at it, the opposition is also in pieces. I mean, who's going to rise after Mahinda Rajapaksa? Mahinda Rajapaksa may be the one binding factor, and after that, I think the opposition will split in several ways, and that may be well what President Sirisena is looking for, because he may try to give leadership in the absence of any kind of stable leader in the opposition. Because I can see the family is breaking up. They form a new party, and who are the two principal spokesmen? It's Basil Rajapaksa and a professor. So that they are not colourful characters. They are not people whom are attractive to the public. So this is the people whom Mahinda Rajapaksa is projecting as the next leadership of the new party. But are these new people? No, they are old hags. So that I can't see any future for Sri Lanka if this is this is the pattern of things that are happening.
As we are discussing politics and its future in our country, is there anybody let's take the SLFP, for example. We're told that there's two factions. All right, but anyway, SLFP. Who is there to succeed?
That is the question.
What's the next?
We do not know, because Mahinda Rajapaksa cannot contest as the president. He's disqualified. He's old. Next time when the elections come, he'll be nearing 75. And that won't be attractive to the young vote, the emerging vote.
Yeah.
So that he has a number of allegations against him.
Yeah.
His government doesn't have an excellent record except against terrorism.
Yeah.
So that the SLFP is not split into two. SLFP is split into about 4. different groups, because now you can see SLFP, there's SLFP, there's SLPP, then there's the Gotabaya faction, then there's the Basil Rajapaksa faction, and there's the Mahinda Rajapaksa faction. So the family is split, the party is split, so that just as much as the UNP is unpopular, there's the pro-Ranil Wickremesinghe groups, the anti-Ranil Wickremesinghe groups, then the government is, Sri Sena is probably carrying all the deadwood of the SLFP. I don't know what kind of vote he'll be able to attract even in his own electorate, Polonnaruwa. So I think we are in an absolutely right royal mess, and we will probably sink still below sea level if all this continues unabated.
And we are also told that Vijay Kumar Tunga's party is being revived. So it seems to be time for new parties.
I think it's time for young people to rise. If you look at it, if we are still running with a generation of virtually 670 generation.
I'm saddened actually, Mr. Dayasiri, that our young parliamentarians, and there are several of them, haven't taken on some of the more pressing matters and spoken about it and promoted its cause.
The young parliamentarians are very disappointing because they're the progeny of the old. They are family members, so but they are disqualified right at origins. So what we need is new leadership, not from a family leadership. We need our look beyond families, and we got to stretch ourselves and extend our arm for young people. And why are young people not coming? Because I think the main thing is today, politics is a dirty game. There are so many other opportunities in life available in Sri Lanka, unlike in the past. In the past, there was very few opportunities. So today, with all these new openings available, young are not looking at politics because the old has let politics down so badly, they don't want to get into this world of muck.
But in this day and age where news is king, information is king, everybody, all you have to do is sit on a bus, go on a train, go to a restaurant, even if it's a fast food, a busy restaurant. They all, the art of conversation appears to be completely and utterly buried. They're all doing this, because they're making use of information. And with all that, why are the young not coming forward and taking these on? There are so many youngsters in Parliament, and there are so many contentious issues going on.
But
don't they care?
The young in Parliament, if you look at them all, then the emerging young in Parliament are the second generation of an older set of parliamentarians, and they are not at all attractive to the public, and their children will be no longer be considered, there will be family bandism leveled against them because they are not offering opportunities but giving it to their own family members, whether it is UNP or SLFP, all parties. That is what they've been doing. Really, if you look at it, we have to also examine the northern picture.
Yeah.
There we don't have, there's a virtually a one-party state. And there is a very interesting situation because today, to me, there's only one clean politician, and that is Mr. Sambandhan. I don't agree with his views at all.
Yeah.
But I must say that there are no allegations that can be levelled. He is one of the few of the old generation of politicians who have kept a clean image. To him, that credit must be given. But outside that, I think TNA is taking the Tamil people in the north away from mainstream politics, because they are not prepared to join any party of the south. They want to set up a separate state. Now that is a very dangerous game, because that is where the south is going to link up. They are going to unite, and that is very dangerous for the government if the proposals that are now being ushered in via constitutional amendments are given life, because that will rebound on the government.
Now, the papers are predictably Karuna remanded. Central bank takes unspecified action against perpetual treasuries. Karuna remanded. Yeah? Now then, I doubt if Mr. Karuna will enjoy too much of sympathy. Although the charge is misuse of, oh, that's a wonderful, that's something new.
I mean, with so many allegations against.
There are so many allegations. It must be the only country in the world where the government has been changed because of misuse of state vehicles.
Misuse of vehicles, and even the central bank, what are they doing there? It's bluff. I mean, I have lost a lot of respect for Mr. Kumarasamy, because he should be on
what
the.
Is so
what is
secretive?
important is the recovery of the money, public money.
Absolutely.
I think he's playing ball with the government.
CB takes unspecified actions against perpetual
Why
treasuries.
unspecified?
Why unspecified?
Why
You're asking my question.
And also, are they not taking attempts to recover the money? I mean, we know what happened. There are 3 reports. There's a central bank report, there's the Auditor General report, there's a court report. I think I'm ashamed of Mr. Kumarasamy.
I'm of course disappointed that this is not some private business. This is the people's money, for heaven's sake.
People's money, and
the people need to know what is going on. You can't say market sentiment. Market sentiment is what caused the initial furore anyway, because it was one of the primary dealers who leaked that information out about the 1 billion becoming the 10, and he worked out the implications and spilt the beans to one of the newspapers. So, you know, I'm afraid I can't give you any details of the actions that we have taken for various reasons. Sorry, Governor of the Central Bank, not acceptable. The people want to know what's happened.
I mean, it's not only don't blame this government alone, don't blame this central bank administration alone, the monetary board of then and now, I think are acting in unison. I mean, end of the day, nothing will happen, because there will be bipartisanship between the last government and this government, last monetary board.
There have been ministers who have turned up on our networks and sort of given various excuses about the bond. One said it hadn't been quantified, and the same, I think, said that it was a notional loss. So I want to know if these profits declared by some of these dealers, license holders, primary dealers, whether that is also notional.
The thing is, the little detail that the central bank governor has revealed, I think it would have been better if he did not talk at all. And because he says that there are 2 instances where action has been taken. Now that is all matters that are of the present. We are looking to the past. We are trying to recover huge losses to the state, to public funds.
What I'd like to know is yesterday's press conference, so they revealed that CCTV cameras going to be put in at various locations. It appears to me that they didn't have CCTV at one of the most sensitive areas of the central bank, apart from its safe or the vaults, the auction room. Now that's how, because of the lack of clarity from these statements emanating from the central bank, that is what flames this sort of confusion and the speculation. And some of these parliamentarians, the politicians, are getting the flack because of this very reason, lack of information coming out of the central bank.
I don't know, it is lack of information. The information revealed itself is puzzling. The information revealed is inadequate. The information revealed shows they are on the wrong track. It clearly shows that the central bank is once again unaware of what to do next, or they are once again playing under command directions.
Well, it's all very sad. Karuna, unreturned state vehicle. It wasn't like Mr. Sarat Chandra, who had overused his vehicle and resulted in 146,000, so they say. Why on earth they didn't just charge him back the 146,000 and impose a fine maybe twice that, collect the money, and instead of wasting all this precious time in court and in remand and so on, If that's what it is, and if he wanted to pay, they should have just paid it and given him a ticket off.
Well, Taraz, what I can see is that people are paraded before the FCID. Then all that happens is it ends up, and the whole thing ends up in bail applications. I mean, this is not what people wanted. People wanted it to corrupt to be found out and punished.
Indeed.
But
and the money to be returned.
The recovery of funds, and see that this kind of thing there's no further possibility for people in the future to do, let this be a deterrent. Instead of that, I think this is a classic case of in the future for politicians to indulge in this kind of aberrations, because all they got to do is to make a bail application. And no material is placed in court, the court action has been filed, but where's the evidence? Nothing is forthcoming. Where are the convictions? Where are the acquittals?
And where is the basis and the rationale for the Prime Minister's proposed 100,000 rupee allowance for MPs, and they say it's been approved? Are they joking? Do they know what the people are going through? Do they know that there's a whole set of people out in rural Sri Lanka where they're suffering, where this network through its government program is doing what it can to help these people get on with their lives? RO plants, bridges, water distribution, and these guys getting 100,000 allowance. Mr. Dayasirion, is there anything legally we can do? Can we go to court and stop it?
I don't think you can do that, because parliamentary privileges and prerogatives are so overwhelming that they are a very protected group of set of animals that you have.
I'm sorry,
as
but
politicians.
you know, I think they're all suffering from Aspergers syndrome, Aspergers syndrome. Have a look at it and then try and compare your members of parliament against the symptoms of Asperger's syndrome.
The simple fact is this re-establishes what is in the mind of the people, that parliamentarians first look after themselves and look after themselves very well. But this is not good for democracy. I mean, we can see what is happening in the world. We can see the new emergence of nationalism in Germany, France, then also the victory of Trump. People react. People become anti-establishment. That has its positive aspects, that has its negative aspects. So I think that disease is coming very soon to Sri Lanka, because good governance has failed. That was the impact that changed the government last time. But this time people know that no government is looking after good governance. There is all about poor governance. So I think this country has no future with this set of politicians. We got to change them, and I blame the public, the young people of today.
No, we can't
not emerging.
Well, we can't, can we? Because the root cause of this problem is the fact that in Sri Lanka, the politicians, if you want to be a politician, you need to join the party, and then it's the party leadership that will select their nominees. So isn't the onus on the parties to ensure that they select some new faces?
Look at it. I think we as a democracy has used the vote wisely. We have been able to change governments, but now we must change politicians. The governments must be swept out of power. The people have the right to exercise their franchise. They have the intelligence, they have the knowledge, they have suffered. But the thing is, no candidates are not emerging for them to vote for. They have no alternates.
Maybe the alternate is the new Podu Jana Peramuna, the new party.
Yes, new party with GL Piris and Basil Rajapaksa.
Maybe
it's the same.
I have a viewer who says here, irrespective of interpretations, it would appear that the SLFP in the villages are joining the SLF peers in the villages, are joining the new party, the Podu Jana Peramuna, in lock, stock and barrel. Apparently, according to this viewer, it is the factual situation. What will be the outcome?
Outcome is the bulk vote. What matters is the floating vote. Because governments can change, governments can be elected, but to get a working majority with substantial numbers, the floating voter is very important. The floating voter is not attracted by old, dead, good politicians. They want new life, new lease of life. So until that is shown by some party, I think the question of what is happening in the villages is that people think not of politics, not of issues, not of the constitution. They think of their personal problems, and this government is not solving it. Maybe your institution is also solving it more than the present government. So they get attracted to the personal issues. Personal issues are the major factor. So that national issues takes a lower position. It's secondary. So people now feel the pinch. It's their economic problems, their social problems, their domestic problems that take the upper hand. And
what you say is true. In our last minute, I want to say this because it's just come to my mind. The Prime Minister yesterday, or whenever it was, day before, in Parliament, when he was talking about our channel and our chairman and so on, and he said that he won't burn us down, he won't do this and he won't do that. Oh, how charming. But the bit that, when he said that we won't stone them, downstairs on our way down to the other studio, you may have seen a framed big rock. That was what the Prime Minister gave us as a present. It's a big rock. On your way down, you can see it. It's nicely framed. Do read. That's the thanks that we got. So, you know, but whether we are bombed, whether we are criticized, whether we are assured that by the Prime Minister, no less, that we won't be attacked and so on, we shall be wary. But what we won't do is we won't stop ever reporting
but
the
you
truth.
know, you must consider those as compliments, not as criticism, because I think the best gift that a politician can offer a media is to be harsh on them, because that shows the independence of the media.
Indeed, absolutely right. Thank you, Gomin Dayasirion, for being with us and sharing your thoughts and so on. And there's plenty more to discuss in the coming days, and we will do that. The bond hasn't gone away. It doesn't seem to be want to go away. So there's lots to report and lots to tell you what government is doing around our country. On that note, once again, Mr. Dayasirion, many thanks for being on the program.
Thanks for inviting me.
And do let us know the next time you're hopping on the Trans-Siberian Railway. You can have a White Christmas, according to Mr. Dayasirion. In the meantime, take care, have a great day, and God bless.